Hi everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shane. Thank you so much for joining me for today's bonus constellation soap video. When I first started the series, I think it was back on the Taurus video, I asked you guys to name some other constellations that you'd like to see me make in a soap, and I would pick one and I would make it. Now there were quite a few suggestions in there, and a lot of them were for very well-known constellations, but I felt that there was no personal connection to any of them, so it wasn't going to be something that people would really want to have. Might enjoy watching me make it, but probably wouldn't actually want to have it. But there was one suggestion in there that I'd never heard of, and I decided to go and do a bit of a Google search and went down this whole rabbit warren of information, and I decided this was the constellation I was going to do because there is a personal connection to it. And that constellation is Ophiuchus. Now, if like me, you've never heard of this constellation, it's actually quite fascinating, and I learned an awful lot about the stars while researching it. What I discovered is that our constellations are actually broken up into two separate groups. We have astronomy, which is the study of the stars, planets, moons, and all of that sort of thing. And a lot of our constellations fall into that category. These constellations are generally seen all year round to the naked eye, but they do appear in different places in the sky, depending upon the Earth's sort of tilt axis and all that sort of thing. And then we have this other set of constellations which are to do with astrology, which is that sort of belief of the alignment of the moon, stars, planets, and all of that side of thing. And these constellations that form into astrology, or our zodiac signs, are generally only seen at certain parts of or certain times of the year when the sun has the opportunity to shine against those stars and reflect them back to Earth so that we can see them with the naked eye. They're always up there in the sky, it's just that they've not got that light reflecting back off them so that we can see them. Now this particular constellation, Ophiuchus, it is one of these rare ones that has to be in a certain position to have that sun reflect off it and bounce back into our atmosphere so we can see it. So there is a lot of debate about whether this is actually a zodiac sign because it behaves like all of our other zodiac signs. But a lot of people will actually say that no, it is part of the astrology set of constellations, even though it doesn't behave like them. So there is a lot of debate about whether or not this one is a constellation or a zodiac. But I decided that it was such a fascinating sort of story behind this one that this was going to be the bonus constellation I was going to do, because there is people who do believe in it may want to have a bar of this soap. Now, just a little background on Ophiuchus that I found. Some of the documents, they claim that it's a new zodiac sign, and a lot of this started back in the 1970s. But when you actually delve into the history of this particular constellation, it dates right back to the ancient Greek and Romans. And of course, there are lots of myths and legends that go along with it. And one of the sort of myths that I read was that, and it seems to be a common theme in all of the sort of ancient history, was that Ophiuchus was actually a doctor. And the one I read in particular was the Greek one. So we're talking about Apollo and Zeus and all of those gods. They wanted, I believe it was either Apollo or Zeus, I read this a long time ago, wanted Ophiuchus to be the doctor to the gods. So they took him away from Earth and then popped him up into the sky so he could be the doctor to the gods. And he is known, this constellation is associated with serpents and medicinal and all of that sort of thing. So I decided with this soap that I was going to use the colors of green because that is very much associated with medicinal, and we are also going to scent it with rosemary and mint because again they are some medicinal sort of scents, and I think I explained the rest in the video. So let's go and see how I make it. Okay, so we are ready to start this soap. I've got my oil and my lye water together. Because I do like to set this all to music, I'm going to explain some of the things I will be using. I have got my fragrance oil in here, which is rosemary and mint. And I went with this one because Ophiuchus is associated with medicine. And this kind of, to me, rosemary and mint are just some of those real medical sort of herbs that are out there. And it's just a really nice combination. For my colours, I have a little concoction in here, which is some aquamarine with some black oxide, and I will also be using some of the aquamarine in my main base with a little bit of white just to get a paler colour, and I'll also be using some white, which is the Blizzard Mica. The reason I'm going for the green palette is again because of that medicinal sort of aspect of the constellation, and I associate greens, probably because I see it so much, with hospital and medical sort of logos and that sort of thing. So let's jump into making this one, and as always, as I said, I'm going to be setting this to some music. I've got all of my star embeds down here. For those that do ask me, these are just little embeds that I have extruded with a clay extruder and a star shape using some soap dough. So let's get into it. Okay, so there it is. It is in the mold. I honestly can't believe how messy these soaps can be when I'm making them. When I first started to pour this one in, it was a lot more fluid than I anticipated. It ended up pouring way too much in the mold, and I couldn't see where I was meant to put my first star placements in there, so I had to pour some of that off again, and then it was just too fluid. And that's why when I do these soaps, I don't mind that it thickens up on me, otherwise the little stars move. So I'm really pleased that they're all in, and hopefully those bottom ones have stayed in place. I've just given that a really light sprinkle with some Eco Glimmer glitter, and this one, I can't read the little tag anymore. It was one of the ones that Tiara sent to me. So we've got some of that on. And then I'm cheating this time. I am using some of the sprinkles that I have got from over at Wickedly Goods. These are her Wicked Bits. I've just simply run out of time to keep making my own sprinkles, so I thought she uses the same oils that I have in my soap, so I was just gonna buy some from off her, and they're absolutely stunning. She's made them and then she's dusted them with some mica. So as always, I'm just going to decorate the top of this one with some stars. We'll just chuck them on however they go. I haven't got any moons to go on it this time. Well, actually I did get some moons from Off Wickedly as part of the Halloween bento box that I got, but they're yellow and I just don't think they'll quite match in with the rest of the theme of this soap. So there it is all done. It is sparkly and pretty. I'm going to leave it sit in the mold overnight and we'll be back very shortly. We'll cut it open and see if those stars stayed in place. Okay, so we are back to cut into this one, see if we have got the constellation, see if those stars that were on the bottom actually stayed where they were meant to stay. I am going to cut this so we only end up with 16 bars, and that is so that each side of the bar you can actually see the constellation. So let's get cut on through. Oh, there goes one of the stars. It pinged off. And I've just finished mopping in here as well. Let me stick some of these back on. I mustn't have pushed them into the soap far enough, but that's okay. It is still soft enough that we can push these stars back into place. Don't know where these ones have popped out from. They are tough little stars. That's where one of them came out of. All right, so let's see what we've got on the inside. So there is our sign. And let's grab one of these from down here. And we go that way. And there it is. So the stars are a lot sort of fainter in this constellation soap because I have used such pale colours. So that is a lesson to me. Don't go for those paler colours. Make sure we stick to the dark ones so we can see those stars. But I am actually pretty happy with the alignment on them. This one down here has dropped down a little bit, but all the others are in pretty good placement. So I'm really happy with that, especially because this one was just so fluid when I first poured it out. And I really did struggle to get those bottom 3 stars in place. So I've done pretty well to get them in their place, and I really love the swirls and colour that is actually on this soap, so really happy with it. I did ask Lee to make me the Ophiuchus symbol, so once I get all of these off, cleaned up, I'm going to get them stamped with the little symbol probably down in the corner here, and then get them off over onto the curing rack. If you come and follow along with me over on Instagram, you'll see when these are ready, which should be when this video goes out, because I have been trying to time these constellation ones to release as the constellation comes into our skies. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made the Ophiuchus star sign. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.